Hi guys, I'm John from DempseyJ Illustrations, and on this week's episode I'm going to share with you a bit of the process and some tips on creating an original character. So in order to help with this, we're going to go through the steps that I did to create my son's original character Arkanius, Ark for short as he likes to call it, and how I brought that character to life. So let's get started. So the first thing to bear in mind with creating an original character is to find out a bit of a story, a bit of the features that you want. So what makes the character the character? I asked my son to come up with a list of features so we can design the character, and he came up with the following list: brown hair, lavender eyes, white angel-like wings, a training outfit similar to the Dragon Ball style but not quite the same, a katana as a weapon, Mifwa cat ears. He's obsessed with cats, so this will be an interesting combination. And also a spell behind the character, which has blue flames and white flames with a few dark blue accents for the inner elements of the spell. This was enough to get started, so let's begin.
this looks like a good time to stop. I just wanted to give a bit of an insight into what I've actually done, or a bit about my process. So as I spoke in last week's video and mentioned it, lighting and shadows. So what I've done is I've created an individual layer for each. So you'll see you've got the main shadow layer there set to multiply. And then I've also created the light layer for the ambient soft lights, which is set to a soft light mode. These are for my mid-range lights and shadows, and they basically allow me to get a general feel for the light, the direction it comes in of the character. Then on new layers you can add more stuff. So if I add a new layer, set the color to white, have that as normal. If I go to an area where I have the soft light, for example, the arm, and then we draw, just make sure I'm on the right brush for what I'm using. We draw, it just brings out a much more solid color. So you'll be able to see this like a bit more solid compared to your soft lights. The same again, if you go to your multiply layer, add a new layer, it's normal, but you can also set it to multiply again on top. But for this one, I'd do a normal layer. I would select my grey from the multiply, just drop it down a few shades. Then on this completely new layer, I would then look to draw in the areas of shadow. So to just build them up, work on building the shadows up a bit more. And the beauty of this is if you do make a mistake, you can just erase it out. Bring it back, add a bit more emphasis down here, a bit more shadow in this area, and you can either have it as a block fill color to emphasize a sharp shadow, or if you have a blender or the smudge tool, you can then, it's just the size, you can then blend it into your other colors and your other layers to give a much more smoother gradient effect. And just play around with the settings. This will then add a little bit more dimension to the character, and as you can see, you can only see the darker emphasis and a bit of a lighter emphasis on the shadow and shadings. So with that said, let's crack on.
there we have it. I hope you enjoyed joining me on the journey of creating my son's original character, Arkanius. And if you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you can stay up to date as new videos come out. Next week, I will be doing a digital illustration of Rogue from the X-Men. See you next time.